Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Tickers. Today we're going deep on McKesson's Q3 2025 earnings call.
Always exciting to see what this healthcare giant has been up to.
For sure. For those who need a quick reminder, McKesson is a huge GE player in the healthcare world.
Yeah, they're involved in everything from distributing medications to providing tech solutions for pharmacies and hospitals.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Did McKesson meet expectations this quarter?
In short, yes. Their revenue hit a strong $95.3 billion.
Wow. That's impressive.
For sure, it's a significant jump, up 18% from the same period last year.
18%.
Yeah.
That's got to make investors happy. What drove that kind of growth?
A couple of major factors. First, their prescription drug volume has gone way up.
Makes sense. Especially with all the new specialty medications hitting the market.
Exactly. That's a big part of it. They're tapping into those high-growth areas within the pharmaceutical industry.
So they're strategically positioning themselves to ride that wave.
Absolutely. And here's something particularly interesting.
I'm all ears.
Sales for GLP-1 medications just exploded.
GLP-1 medications. Are we talking about those new weight loss drugs, the ones everyone's buzzing about?
That entire class of medications falls under GLP-1s, and it looks like McKesson is capitalizing on that trend big time.
Wow. A 45% increase year over year.
Yeah, bringing in a massive $10.9 billion.
So it sounds like a pretty amazing quarter for McKesson. Did anything not go according to plan?
Well, not everything was sunshine and roses.
Oh, what happened?
Their medical surgical supplies segment actually had a bit of a dip.
A dip? How much are we talking?
Revenues decreased by 3%.
Not the direction we like to see. What caused that?
Seems like the milder than expected flu season had a ripple effect. Demand for things like vaccines and testing kits was lower than anticipated.
Ah, that makes sense. That segment is particularly sensitive to those seasonal ups and downs.
Exactly. And this time it looks like the flu just wasn't as widespread.
So even a healthcare giant like McKesson can be affected by something as unpredictable as the flu season.
It just goes to show that external factors can always play a role, no matter how big or well-established a company is.
True enough. So are they just crossing their fingers for a worse flu season next year, or are they taking steps to address this?
Oh, they're definitely not just sitting back and hoping for the best. McKesson is actively working on streamlining that medical surgical segment.
Interesting. How are they doing that?
They're focusing on better meeting customer needs, particularly in those alternate care settings like urgent care clinics and long-term care facilities.
Makes sense. They need to adapt to the changing healthcare landscape.
Exactly. It's all about staying ahead of the curve.
So some things to work out, but overall it seems like McKesson is in a pretty good spot.
I'd say they're in a strong position, but of course we can't forget that the healthcare landscape is constantly changing.
Very true. That's what makes it so fascinating. Speaking of fascinating, McKesson is making some notable moves in the oncology space.
Definitely oncology is a huge e-growth area in healthcare right now.
Absolutely. So what's the latest there?
They're really doubling down on their commitment to cancer care. Their US Oncology Network, which provides support to community oncology practices, is expanding rapidly.
How rapidly are we talking?
They're now up to over 2,750 providers.
That's a significant network. So they're going all in on cancer care.
It's a big focus for them. They're providing these practices with a wide range of support, from data analytics to clinical trial support.
It's like they're building an entire ecosystem around cancer care.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it's a smart move because it benefits everyone involved.
Right. McKesson strengthens its position in a growing market, and community oncology practices get the resources they need to deliver top-notch care.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
Okay, so it's not just about distributing cancer drugs. They're becoming a true partner to oncology practices. That's a pretty powerful position to be in.
Absolutely. And they're not stopping at oncology either.
Oh, I'm really intrigued. What else are they up to?
They're seeing similar potential in the retina and ophthalmology space.
Interesting. Are they taking a similar approach there?
Very much so. They see a strategic opportunity and they're building out a specialized platform just like they've done with oncology.
So we might see McKesson-branded eye clinics popping up alongside their oncology centers.
Maybe not clinics, but it wouldn't be surprising to see them expand their service offerings in that direction.
That's a really interesting thought.
Yeah.
It definitely shows their ambition and their ability to identify promising areas within healthcare.
They're thinking long-term and building for sustainable growth.
Definitely. Now let's zoom in on the tech side of things. How is McKesson using technology to drive its business forward?
Their prescription technology solutions segment is a great example. They're investing heavily in technology to make things easier for both patients and providers.
Okay, I'm always excited to hear about technology making healthcare smoother.
Right. One of the things they're focused on is automated prior authorizations.
Now, you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Prior authorizations are a major pain point in healthcare. I'm all for anything that simplifies that process.
Exactly. It's a huge time saver for both patients and providers, and it can help patients get the medications they need more quickly.
So it's a win for everyone involved,
Yeah.
patients, providers, and McKesson.
Absolutely. It's a great example of how technology can be used to improve efficiency in patient care.
Okay, enough looking back for now. What's the crystal ball say about McKesson's future? What are they projecting?
They're forecasting continued growth. They're aiming for earnings per share to increase by 12% to 14% next year.
That's impressive, especially for a company of their size.
It is. They're expecting this growth to come from those key areas we've been talking about: oncology, retina and ophthalmology, and prescription technology solutions.
So it sounds like McKesson is in a strong position. But surely there must be some potential challenges they might face. No business is completely immune to headwinds.
You're absolutely right. The healthcare industry is constantly changing, so McKesson will have to be adaptable.
What kind of challenges are we talking about?
New regulations could have an impact on their operations, and a continued slowdown in that medical surgical segment could also pose a challenge.
Those are definitely things to watch. But overall, it sounds like McKesson is well equipped to navigate these challenges and continue its impressive growth.
I agree. They've got a lot going for them.
Okay, we'll dive deeper into their specific growth strategies and potential headwinds in part 2 of this deep dive after a quick break. Welcome back to Talk Tickers. Before the break, we were talking about McKesson's strategic growth engines and how they're positioning themselves for the future.
It's definitely an exciting time to be watching this company. Let's delve a bit deeper into those growth areas, starting with oncology.
Sounds good.
So we touched on their US Oncology Network earlier. What's so intriguing about McKesson's approach here?
Well, they're not just distributing cancer drugs. They're actually building a comprehensive ecosystem to support the entire cancer care journey.
An ecosystem. Okay, I like that analogy. Yeah, think of it as a one-stop shop for community oncology practices. It gives them everything they need to operate effectively.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. What does that ecosystem look like in practice?
Imagine you're running a community oncology practice. You need data and analytics to understand your patient population and treatment outcomes right.
Absolutely. Data is king these days.
And you need access to clinical trials so you can offer your patients the most cutting-edge therapies.
Of course, that's essential for staying at the forefront of cancer care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also need efficient practice management tools to keep your business running smoothly.
So many moving parts.
McKesson provides all of that and more.
So it's like they're acting as a silent partner, empowering these practices to deliver better cancer care.
Precisely. It's a win-win for everyone involved. McKesson solidifies its position in the rapidly growing oncology market.
Right. And these community oncology practices get the support they need to thrive and provide excellent patient care.
Exactly. It's all about creating a collaborative environment where everyone benefits.
Now that makes perfect sense. Let's move on to their expansion into retina and ophthalmology. Are they taking a similar ecosystem approach there?
Yes, they are. Remember we talked about their acquisition of Prism Vision?
Yeah, they gained access to a large network of providers and office locations through that deal.
Right. That acquisition immediately gave them a strong foothold in the retina and ophthalmology space. But here's the interesting part.
Okay, tell me more.
Before the acquisition, they were already laying the groundwork strategically.
You mean like they had a plan in place?
Exactly. They had their Retina GPO program, their inventory management software, and their investment in US Retina. So they were already building towards this.
So they weren't just reacting to market trends. They were actively shaping their own future.
Now they're combining those existing assets with Prism Vision's network, and they're well on their way to creating another specialized platform.
Just like they did with oncology.
Precisely. It's a proven strategy that's working well for them.
Okay, I see the pattern here. So are we going to see McKesson-branded eye clinics popping up next to their oncology centers?
Maybe not eye clinics, but who knows? It wouldn't be shocking to see them expand their service offerings in that direction.
I mean, it would make sense strategically.
It would, and it shows their willingness to adapt and grow.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. They're thinking big picture and playing the long game. All right, before we move on, I'm curious. Are they solely focused on the U.S. market? Or do they have global ambitions?
That's a great question. Their main focus is on North America, but they do have a presence internationally, mostly in Canada.
So are they planning to expand their international operations in the future?
They haven't specifically announced any major plans for global expansion at this point.
So for now, it's all about North America, particularly those specialized areas we've been discussing.
That seems to be their strategy. They're laser focused on those key markets where they see the most potential for growth.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about tech. I'm always fascinated by how technology is transforming healthcare, and it sounds like McKesson is at the forefront of this trend.
Oh, absolutely. Their prescription technology solutions segment is a perfect example of how they're using tech to make healthcare more efficient and patient-friendly.
We talked about their automated prior authorization solutions earlier. Can you give me some more insights into how that's actually playing out in practice?
Sure, think about it from the perspective of both the patient and the provider.
Okay, that's a good approach.
For patients, prior authorizations can be a major hassle. It's time-consuming, it's confusing, and it often leads to delays in getting the medications they need.
Yes, I've been there.
And for providers, it's a huge administrative burden. They spend hours dealing with paperwork and phone calls, which takes away from their time with patients.
I can only imagine the relief McKesson's technology must be bringing to both sides.
Exactly. Their automated prior authorization solutions are streamlining the entire process, making it faster and easier for everyone involved.
It's amazing how much of a difference technology can make.
Isn't it? By automating this process, patients get their medications faster, providers save valuable time and resources, and McKesson gets to position itself as a leader in healthcare technology.
Everyone wins. It's a true win-win-win situation. And it's not just about prior authorizations, right? They're working on other solutions as well to improve healthcare accessibility and affordability.
Oh, absolutely. They're tackling some of the biggest challenges facing our healthcare system, and their technology plays a key role in their solutions.
It's really exciting to see how they're using innovation to make a positive impact.
It really is. They're not just talking about change, they're actually making it happen.
Agreed. It feels like we're at a pivotal moment in healthcare, and McKesson is helping to shape the future.
Definitely. It'll be really interesting to see how things unfold in the coming years.
Okay, before we get to our This Is Not Financial Advice segment, I'm curious, what about their international business? Are they strictly focused on the U.S. market?
That's a great question. While their main focus is on North America, they do have a presence internationally, primarily in Canada.
Got it. So, are they planning to expand their global operations anytime soon?
They haven't shared any specific plans for international expansion yet. It seems like they're laser focused on dominating the North American market, particularly in those specialized areas we discussed.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're
Yeah.
playing to their strengths and leveraging their existing infrastructure.
Right. It's a smart and strategic approach.
All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground. Are you ready for some This Is Not Financial Advice fun?
Always. Let's hear it.
All right, welcome back to Talk Tickers. We've been deep diving into McKesson's Q3 2025 earnings call, and it's clear they're making waves.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're really shaking things up in the healthcare world.
So let's recap what we've uncovered. They absolutely crushed earnings expectations with a whopping 18% revenue growth.
Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
And they're laser focused on those high growth areas like oncology, retina, and ophthalmology, and of course, all those prescription technology solutions.
And we can't forget about their strategic use of technology to make healthcare smoother and more efficient for everyone involved.
Absolutely. They're really becoming a partner to healthcare providers, not just a distributor. That whole ecosystem approach they've developed is fascinating.
It really is. It seems like they're saying, hey, we're not just here to sell you stuff. We're here to support you every step of the way.
It's a smart strategy, and it seems to be paying off.
So they're performing well, and they have a solid plan in place. What does all this mean for their future? What's the big picture here?
Well, if you zoom out and look at the broader healthcare landscape, it's clear that McKesson is positioning itself as a leader.
They're not just riding the wave of change. They're actively shaping it.
Exactly. They're diversifying their business, investing heavily in innovation, and embracing technology to create a more efficient and patient-centered healthcare system.
It's like they understand that the future of healthcare is about delivering solutions, not just products.
Right. It's about going beyond the traditional role of a distributor and becoming a true healthcare innovator.
So are we saying McKesson is a guaranteed success story?
Now, hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. As with any investment, there are always risks to consider.
Of course, that's a given.
The healthcare industry is constantly evolving, so McKesson's success will depend on their ability to adapt and stay ahead of the curve.
Fair enough. So for those who are interested in McKesson, what should they be watching for in the coming quarters? What are the key things to keep an eye on?
Execution is key. Are they successfully integrating Prism Vision into their operations and building out that retina and ophthalmology platform? Are those prescription technology solutions gaining traction in the market? And how are they navigating those potential headwinds like the slowdown in their medical surgical segment?
Those are all great points. So McKesson's definitely a company to watch. They're in transition, evolving from a traditional distributor to a healthcare innovator. It's going to be an exciting journey to follow, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, are you ready for our This Is Not Financial Advice segment?
Always a fun way to end our deep dive. Hit me with your crazy but plausible trade idea for McKesson.
Okay, so we've been talking about all the ways McKesson is using technology to transform healthcare, right?
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries.
What if they took it a step further and launched a personalized healthcare concierge service?
Ooh, a healthcare concierge. I like where you're going with this. Tell me more.
Imagine having a dedicated healthcare assistant available 24/7 to help you navigate all the complexities of the healthcare system.
That would be a game changer.
Right? They would handle everything from scheduling appointments to managing medications to even fighting with insurance companies on your behalf.
No more endless phone calls and paperwork. Sign me up.
And think about the data McKesson could collect through this type of service.
Yeah, they could use it to personalize care, develop new products, and even partner with insurance companies to create more customized plans.
It's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
I love it. McKesson, if you're listening, make it happen.
But remember, folks, this is just a fun hypothetical. Definitely not financial advice.
Right. Don't rush out and buy McKesson stock based on this conversation.
Do your own research, talk to a financial advisor, and make informed decisions.
Always good advice. But hey, it's always fun to brainstorm and imagine the possibilities, right?
Absolutely. And that wraps up our deep dive into McKesson's Q3 2025 earnings call.
Thanks for joining us on Talk Tickers, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep those stock tickers ticking.